The 15,000 Jin, about 7.5 tons, royal vault door was jacked up like a rolling shutter, and the robbers carefully rolled through the gap into the vault, only to find it completely empty. Seeing this, everyone almost split their sides laughing, because no one in the world would have expected a group to go to such lengths to break into an empty vault. The woman excitedly called the boss outside to report the first phase was complete. Now they only had to wait for those 34 European aristocrats to obediently put their heirlooms into their pockets. The night before the auction, the auctioneer carefully placed the 34 jewels into boxes, numbered them, closed the vault door, and locked it with a dual biometric system, fingerprint plus facial recognition. With such tight security, even with the keys, it would take 6 hours to open the vault again. Seeing this, the robbers immediately went to work, donning specially made protective suits to fully isolate themselves from the environment so they would leave no trace at the scene, not a single eyelash. Kira swapped the security feed the guards saw for a pre-recorded video, and with the vault's soundproofing, no one would know what had happened inside. They used a forklift to open the previously cut concrete wall and reach the back of the vault. As the jacks lifted, the robbers rolled in one by one. This time, the royal vault was packed full. Berlin told everyone that after taking all the jewels from the boxes, they must return the boxes to their original positions. They wanted to be ghosts, leave without a trace. Each jewel had its own number, which made inventory easy and ensured none would be missed. Soon the robbers had all the jewels, but they didn't relax. The next task was far harder, getting 6 people and the loot out of heavily guarded Paris. With only 10 hours until the auction, they had to leave the city before then. They brought out pre-prepared welding torches and re-welded the vault's back door, then cleaned up the welding marks. Even a single grain of dirt left behind could become a clue for the police. They found the auction house's cables and connected them to underground high-voltage lines. A momentary short circuit plunged the entire auction house into darkness. Security would rush to the vault first, but with no power. When they tried to open the door, they'd call in engineers for repairs. That would give Damien time to erase the traces of the altered surveillance footage. The concrete wall had been cut into blocks so they could seamlessly refit it during their retreat. If every chunk of brick was returned exactly as it had been before, no one would know these ghost robbers had ever been there. All tools were left underground. Perhaps centuries from now, their descendants would turn their story into legend. Back at the hotel, everyone cleaned up any sign they had stayed there. Damien compressed the jewels to the smallest possible volume, packed them into herring tins, and rewrapped them, creating brand new, apparently unopened diamond herring cans. While wiping away all traces, Berlin also had to plant some fake leads to confuse the police. He drove out to a suburban mansion, burned half of a jewel's tag, left it on a sofa, then secreted a small gem into a seam of the couch. Mission accomplished, he left the scene.